What if the biggest thing standing between you and the life you actually want is staring back at you in the mirror every single morning? You know that voice. The one that says you're already pretty good. The one that gets defensive the second someone offers real feedback. The one that loves telling everyone about your big plans, but somehow never quite gets around to the quiet, daily work. That voice has a name. Ryan Holiday calls it ego. Not the fancy Freudian version from psychology class, but the simple, everyday arrogance that makes you believe you're special without having done the hard work. It's the thing that quietly sabotages your growth, your relationships, and your long-term success. Holiday knows this from painful personal experience. He dropped out of college at 19, became marketing director at American Apparel by 25, and had a best-selling book under his belt. Then, in 2014, a lot of it came crashing down. Mentors and companies he trusted imploded. He realized his inflated self-image had been feeding his stress the whole time. Ego is the Enemy is the brutally honest field guide he wrote, so you don't have to learn these lessons the hard way. It's organized around the 3 phases we all move through. When you're aspiring, chasing something. When you're succeeding, at the top. And when you're failing, when life knocks you down. This isn't about killing your ambition. It's about killing the part of you that confuses noise with progress and image with impact. By the end of this summary, you'll have a clear playbook for spotting ego in real time and choosing reality instead. Let's dive in. The real enemy isn't out there. It's in here. Ego is an unhealthy belief in your own importance. It's the arrogance that whispers, "You're special," before you've earned it. It pulls you away from reality, makes you deaf to honest feedback, and convinces you that talking about your goals is the same as doing them. Holiday's core message is simple but savage. Ego is the greatest adversary of mastery and real creativity. We've all felt it. You tell everyone about the business you're going to start, the book you're going to write, the body you're going to build, and somehow the energy leaks out through your mouth instead of going into the work. Ego loves the spotlight. Excellence prefers silence. The goal isn't to become small or timid, it's to become clear. To see reality as it actually is, instead of how your ego wants it to be. That clarity is what lets you keep growing whether you're climbing, sitting at the top, or picking yourself up off the floor. The 3 phases of the ego battle. Holiday breaks life into 3 repeating phases. Aspiration. When you're striving, grinding, and trying to get somewhere. Success. When you finally arrive and the real danger begins. Failure. When things fall apart, and ego tries to make the pain permanent. In every phase, ego shows up wearing a different mask. Your job is to recognize it fast and choose a better response. Phase 1. The silent struggle of aspiration. When you're starting out, ego's favorite trick is convincing you that you're already a genius before you've delivered anything meaningful. It turns you into a professional talker instead of a professional doer. Holiday calls this the blah 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 phase. You burn through all your motivation describing what you're going to do. By the time you actually sit down to work, the fire is gone. The cure? Silence. Real strength often looks like saying less. When you stop announcing every intention, the energy stays inside you and actually gets used on the work. Try it. Pick one goal you've been talking about and stay completely silent about it for 24 hours. Notice how the urge to perform gets replaced by the urge to actually move. Military strategist John Boyd put it perfectly. You have to choose between being somebody or doing something. Ego always votes for the title, the recognition, the LinkedIn post. History remembers the people who quietly did the work. Another trap in this phase is unchecked passion. We romanticize passion, but passion without preparation is just noise. What actually compounds is methodical purpose and cold realism. Passion feels good in the moment. Purpose keeps you going when it stops feeling good. The canvas strategy is one of the most practical tools Holiday offers. Instead of trying to shine brightest in the room, focus on making everyone around you look better. Clear the path for your boss, your teammates, your mentors. When you help other people succeed, you build real trust, learn faster, and create your own path in the process. It feels counterintuitive to ego, which is exactly why it works. Jackie Robinson lived this. He had to swallow brutal insults and disrespect on the field so he could achieve something much bigger than any single game. Ego wants to clap back at every slight. Real confidence knows when to stay locked in on the mission. Actionable move for this phase. In your next meeting or conversation, try listening twice as much as you speak. Notice what information your ego normally makes you miss. Pick one person above you and actively look for ways to make their job easier this week. Watch how doors start opening with less resistance. Phase 2. The dangerous high of success. Reaching the top is when ego becomes most seductive and most destructive. Success makes you believe your wins were inevitable and purely the result of your own brilliance. You start rewriting history in your head, conveniently forgetting the luck, the help, and the mistakes along the way. You stop doing the simple, boring things that got you there in the first place. Legendary coach Bill Walsh refused to play this game. Instead of grand victory speeches, he obsessed over daily standards of performance. If the process was right, the scoreboard would eventually take care of itself. Ego wants the highlight reel. Real leaders protect the standards. At the top, ego also creates an endless hunger for more. You start envying people who have things you never even wanted. Without clear priorities, you end up running someone else's race and wondering why you feel empty. John DeLorean built an iconic car but let ego destroy the company. He became obsessed with his own image, lost discipline, and prioritized personal credit over the actual mission. Holiday calls this the disease of me. Power can also breed paranoia and the need for total control. Ego hates delegating because it wants everything to revolve around you. The antidote is brutal honesty with yourself and a deliberate practice of staying small in your own eyes. Angela Merkel led one of the most powerful countries in the world with remarkable simplicity and mental clarity. No flashy displays, no constant self-promotion, just steady, effective leadership. Actionable move for this phase. Today, examine your recent decisions. Were they made to protect or grow your image, or to actually improve results? Define what enough looks like for you in the areas that matter most. Money, status, recognition. Write it down. Ego hates boundaries. You need them. The next time your team wins, give them full public credit. Watch what happens to loyalty and culture. Phase 3. Resilience, when everything falls apart. Failure is where ego does its cruelest work. It turns pain into permanent identity. It makes you wallow, blame, and stay stuck. Holiday offers one of the most useful distinctions in the book: alive time versus dead time. Dead time is what you spend after a setback feeling bitter, scrolling, waiting for things to magically improve. Alive time is what you deliberately use to learn, adapt, and get better, especially, when life is hard. Malcolm X turned his prison sentence into a live time by reading and educating himself so deeply that he emerged transformed. Steve Jobs got fired from Apple, went through a painful period of reflection, and came back a far more mature and effective leader. Ego wants you to stay in dead time because admitting you were wrong or that something ended hurts. But the people who win long-term treat failure as data, not identity. Another dangerous ego move in failure is refusing to quit obvious losing games just to avoid looking like a failure. Real strength sometimes looks like changing direction with grace. When criticism or disrespect comes, and it will, ego wants you to defend, attack, or collapse. Holiday suggests a simple practice. Wait 24 hours before responding. Give yourself space to see if there's any truth in what was said. Then use it, or let it go. The goal is to become smaller in your own eyes so you can do work that actually matters. When your self-worth isn't tied to every outcome or opinion, you gain real freedom. Actionable move for this phase. After your next setback or harsh piece of feedback, consciously choose alive time. Ask, what can I learn here? What can I control now? Practice responding to disrespect with grace instead of reactivity. It's one of the highest forms of self-mastery. Your daily ego-slaying playbook. You don't beat ego once. You practice beating it every day. Here's how to make it practical. Catch the talk trap early. When you feel the urge to announce big plans, pause. Channel that energy into one small action instead. Run the canvas strategy daily. Who can you help look good today? Make it a habit. Protect your standards at the top. Define the non-negotiables and review them weekly. Choose a live time on purpose. After any setback, write down 3 things you can learn or do right now. Stay small on purpose. Regularly remind yourself how vast the universe is and how little your ego drama actually matters in the grand scheme. Listen more than you speak. In conversations this week, aim for a 2:1 listening to talking ratio. Give credit away. Make it a game to highlight other people's contributions publicly. Stay humble, stay moving, and keep building. See you in the next one.